David Bowie was more than a musician. He was a storyteller, a shapeshifter, a wanderer through different personas and universes. But where did these stories come from? What books fueled the mind behind the music? Today, we unravel the literary influences that shaped David Bowie's career. Every great story follows a journey. The hero leaves home, faces trials, transforms, and returns changed. David Bowie was no different. His life mirrored this cycle, from his humble beginnings to the cosmic rise of Ziggy Stardust, his fall into darkness, and his ultimate reinvention. Bowie's fascination with dystopian worlds reached its peak in the mid-70s, directly influenced by George Orwell's 1984. He even planned a musical adaptation, but the Orwell estate refused. That didn't stop him. Diamond Dogs became his own twisted vision of a decaying, post-apocalyptic world. Songs like Big Brother and We Are the Dead carried Orwellian paranoia and government surveillance themes. Bowie, like many rock legends, had a deep curiosity for the occult. Aleister Crowley's influence loomed over the Station to Station era, where the Thin White Duke emerged, a cold, enigmatic figure obsessed with mysticism and ritual. Lines like "Here are we, one magical movement, from Kether to Malka, and station to station," reference the Kabbalistic tree of life. If you're interested in Crowley's influence on rock, we have a video diving deep into Led Zeppelin's connections with the occult. William S. Burroughs, the beat writer known for Naked Lunch, revolutionized literature with the cut-up technique, chopping up texts and rearranging them to create new meanings. Bowie adopted this method for his songwriting, using randomness to generate lyrics, like a musical Burroughs experiment. The surrealism of Ziggy Stardust owes much to this chaotic, unpredictable style. Bowie's obsession with reinvention wasn't just artistic, it was philosophical. Nietzsche's concept of the Übermensch, the superhuman, who transcends morality and reinvents themselves, is written all over his personas. Ziggy Stardust, a rock messiah. The Thin White Duke, a detached, evolved being. Even in his later years, Bowie continued to challenge what it meant to be an artist, pushing beyond the limits of identity. Mark Garson arrives in Bahia, walking through the lively streets of Salvador. The colors, the smells, the rhythm of the city, it all blends into a surreal experience. But something catches his ear, a sound, unfamiliar, yet strangely hypnotic. As he wanders into a dense tropical forest, he hears it more clearly. A bird singing, but not just any bird, the Sabia da Mata. Its melody is unpredictable, shifting in ways that seem almost improvisational. The moment stays with him. The way the bird song refuses to follow conventional patterns. Its sudden shifts in tone, its unexpected pauses, its pure dissonance, yet somehow harmonious. When Garson sits at his piano months later, perhaps that lingering echo from Bahia resurfaces. And so, in Aladdin Sane, his legendary piano solo is born. Chaotic, free, untamed. A sonic storm that mirrors the bird's wild, natural music. But this isn't the first time a musician has transformed the Sabia song into melody. Decades earlier, in 1972, Caetano Veloso, in exile, recorded Transa, an album that blended Brazilian roots with international influences. In the track Neohilitic Man, a peculiar phrase emerges: "Que tem vovó, elanca só." It sounds nonsensical, but it's not. It's a direct transcription of the Sabiá da Mata's call, transformed into words. Caetano and Gal Costa chant it in a hypnotic rhythm, turning nature's randomness into music. It's a form of musical alchemy, where sound becomes language, and language dissolves back into sound. And here's where things get strange. The improvisation in Aladdin Sane and the melodic line in Neohilitic Man share a remarkable similarity. The same unpredictable phrasing, the same wavering, dissonant energy. Could it be that both Garson and Caetano unknowingly captured the same essence, the wild, free-spirited song of the Sabia? We know for certain that Tom Jobim consciously embraced the Sabia's song. In Sabia, he composed a melody that mimics the bird's wistful call, turning it into a symbol of longing and saudade. He deliberately borrowed from nature to express human emotion. But what about Garson and Caetano? Could they have been unconsciously channeling the same source, finding inspiration in a sound older than music itself? Music and nature have always been intertwined. From Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony to Messiaen's transcriptions of bird calls, composers have looked to the world around them for inspiration. But the idea that Garson's avant-garde jazz solo and Caetano's tropicalist chants might share an unspoken influence, one that exists outside of time, hidden in the trees of Bahia, is something worth pondering. Perhaps this is what music truly is, an echo of something older than us, something we hear, interpret, and transform, but never fully understand. In the end, Bowie wasn't just a musician. He was a reader, a thinker, a literary mind. His personal library contained everything, from Kafka to Camus, from sci-fi to existentialism. He absorbed stories, reimagined them, and gave them back to the world through music. And in his final years, with Lazarus, he wrote his own story, a theatrical farewell, deeply tied to his love for books and narrative. David Bowie's journey through literature shows us one thing: stories shape us. They help us transform. If you're inspired by Bowie's reading habits, let us know your favorite book in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more deep dives into the literary minds behind the music.